Alright, this video contains no jump cuts, memes, or shit talk, so I've kept it short for you. You're welcome. When coaching a player in League of Legends, one of the most difficult problems is their ego. Short attention spans, poor mechanics, tendencies to revert to suboptimal patterns, and autopilot are all core issues that are very hard to work through. Don't get me wrong. But ego is the core issue that will stop the student from trying in a game, from questioning their own decisions, from learning through others, and ultimately from seeking new coaching. The harder I criticize a player, the less likely they are to come back to me for coaching. Which isn't to say that coaches should be critical all the time, or that positive reinforcement isn't a great tool for improving. There was a study that showed that just positive reinforcement might be the best way. So maybe that's something, but it's just indicative of a pride issue that is all too obvious in the general League of Legends scene. And let me do an experiment on you. What's your current solo queue rank in division? Do you think that you are the skill level of that division? And if you're like almost every other League player, the answer is no. Well, I'm gold 5, but I think I could be gold 3, maybe plat 5. You're special, of course. No, I'm special, but it's different with me, and I know that everyone else thinks that. You haven't played enough games this season. You had an unlucky streak of inters. You deserve to be a few divisions higher than you are if you just try hard. Everyone thinks this. You can't all be right, but you are, right? And therein lies the problem. People know that the average player deserves to be in their range, but they don't believe that they are. Sure, there are exceptions. If you're getting plus 30, then consider your rank to be the players you play with, but don't consider it to be higher than that. Divisions are just a pointless skin for ELO anyway. That's fine, but if you are playing with gold 5s, it doesn't matter if you've got 40 games until you can prove something otherwise. That's where you are at. Now, 90% of Americans think they drive better than the average American. Now, I don't have to tell you that this can't be true, and driving is far less emotionally involved than League. But now that I've told you that statistic, do you think you're better than the average driver? You might be right, and you might be wrong. You could accept that it doesn't matter, and focus on improving regardless of others, or you could pay a coach and make half your session trying to figure out that if you're just over the median for your division, in this example, Americans, the bronze 4s of driving, there's no point. Just focus on improving. There's a huge industry basically devoted to telling you that you're not a special snowflake in League. They tell you that, oh, you focus on where you're at. Don't let your pride get the best of you. But the same industry basically relies on players not really believing that shit. As a coach, the majority of my students believe they're going to be a great student with no pride. They're going to be eager to improve. The reality of this is that a lot of them have huge egos and don't trust my coaching method as an effective way to improve their skills. They want me to give them a magic pill, and when I hand them the fucking magic pill, effective drills to address their specific weaknesses, and eventually their specific habits that hold them back, really important core stuff, they throw it away. They say this pill doesn't look like what I imagined. A lot of the things I tell them are just ways to apply what they already know because they spent all this time consuming League information. Players who seek out coaching have probably spent their time doing Google flu trying to improve, and what that amounts to is they've watched 1,000 videos with all caps titles, 7 things challengers you should do that you don't. They CS better and they don't till the OP picks a patch XX, and maybe for the more adventurous ones, they watch videos of Celebrity Coach giving players theoretical advice far above the level they need to be learning at for $100 a session, and maybe they even buy one themselves. This type of shit leads to gold players who thinks they have silver mechanics, challenger macro. I've heard that a million fucking times. Bronze mechanics, master macro, whatever. But when we get into a session, they have gold mechanics and gold macro if they're a gold player, almost all the time. But that doesn't apply to you, right? They tell their team to swap top and bot after first turret goes down without requisite back timers, dragon control, and honestly, the teammates required to do that. They do one thing they saw in a high elo game without fully knowing why, and then they blame their team for not following their call that might be good if the players were better executing, but they're not, and it's not a valid macro if they're not good enough to execute. As a quick disclaimer, we all know who I'm talking about with my examples, but let me be clear, I'm not blaming them for clickbait titles and view mills. I've seen a lot of good sources of information degrade very quickly because the shitty videos just make them a lot more money. They get a lot more views and they can put them out a lot faster. Even if League is your passion, I don't blame these people for lowering to the community level, because to make your passion your career in this case, you pretty much have to do that. They don't make money getting you to Challenger. They make money by having your Diamond 5 or Plat or Diamond 1, it doesn't matter, hard stuck ass listen to their voice over random clips of League of Legends, because you get off to it and you don't learn anything and you come back for more. Yes, there are exceptions to every rule, and that's the problem. But you need to give it months of hard work before you start to doubt that you're not that exception. Because if you think you're out there, then that's going to change your method of improving what you try to do from what really works. And what really works is, just like anything, a lot of hard work and a lot of time and a lot of grinding and consulting people who know what they're doing. Or you can pay me to tell you probably that you're in the range of everyone else, and that now that you spent half your session trying to get an ego boost, let's actually use the other half to improve. Thanks.